But let's take a step back. I want to kind of go into your backstory. Typically, I think behind any startup, there is either some core insight, some personal experience that the founder has gone through. And I know you have had a very, very long career as an engineering leader. Take us back to that moment, right? Or that experience where you actually realized and you discovered the core kind of idea behind Hivel.
Great. As a CTO, I was sitting out of Bay Area and managing teams out of India, Africa, and Europe. One time we missed a major deadline with my India team. And instead of doing a standard retrospective, I wanted to do a different kind of retrospective by talking to five stakeholders who were part of the missed deadline project. And I heard five different answers. I did not know which one to consider, what was the actual reason for it. Then I said, okay, let me start using the data. I cannot be very subjective about it. I went to Jira data and started pulling it. And I said, guys, I mean, like whatever you said, can you show me some data dashboards? And everybody gave me some version of Jira dashboards. One level down in the Jira dashboards, there was a hygiene problem in everywhere. Realized Jira dashboards were useless because hygiene was a problem. As a developer myself, I was not very good at updating my Jira, right? We like coding, not updating and status updates. And then I said, okay, this is not the problem. Then I need to go to say, where was the actual source of truth? The source of truth is like in Git. Action happened there. And we have the data. It's shouting from there that like, no, I'm here, but we're not listening to it, the signals. Started to write some scripts, pull the Git data. That answered my actual question of like why we missed the deadline. People were writing the code, it was not being shipped. Scope was changing, people were rewriting the same piece of code 5 times. They did not know how to say that they changed the code 5 times. Now, all of these insights, how do you get it? I got super excited. I said, like, no, let me add more features. Let me add more scripts. I want more metrics. Then very soon I realized I was just deviating away from a core roadmap as a CTO for my organization and started talking to people in the Valley, Notion, Stripe, Uber, LinkedIn. How do you guys do this? I'm like, you have thousands of engineers. I have nothing closer to that. And they all showed me how they have very good analytics tools for people and processes. As engineering team CTOs, we are very, very data driven for everything except our most expensive assets, which is people and process. Then realize why are small companies, even with 2,000, 3,000 engineers, not building it? Again, they ran into the same problem as like distracting from the core roadmap. That's why my aha moment happened. Hey, this is a good problem. We need to democratize the access to such kind of analytics tools for every company. And our mission is to make every company's engineering team a high velocity engineering team. Hence, Hivel was born.
And then typically, there is, I mean, this problem has been around for a while. It's been kind of obviously increasing in intensity. I think the whole Atlassian ecosystem, Jira and Confluence and all these platforms have slowly become incumbent platforms. How did you build conviction on the why now part of it? That okay, this is actually the right time for you as a as to take a plunge and start a company from 0 to 1, because that's like a very big call compared to using it internally within a large company.
Yeah, the timing is very, very important. It's a problem that we all have been struggling for decades now. One, people have always touched it in the wrong direction, focused on outputs like lines of code and number of story points completed and all of those things that it never worked. Then the COVID happened and like no people went remote. That was one of the most trigger point to say that everybody wanted visibility, right? People who were always on the around you are not around you anymore, and you don't know why they don't ping on Slack and why you are missing deadlines or why the quality is dipping down. Then one is COVID. Two, companies like Google and GitHub have seen this problem firsthand, and they have done a lot of this research around DORA metrics and space framework came into the picture. And the whole engineering community started embracing them really well because we've been deprived of these metrics and objective data to understand the engineering productivity. So the COVID thing where everybody wanted something like this and the very objective metrics coming from a very credible institutions or organizations coming together and me personally facing this problem, I said, enough of firefighting. Now let's go build it. Right. So the timing is what I would say I was lucky about and why I wanted to start it. And very happy about the decision now. With AI coming in, how we started off the podcast, everybody wants to know, is AI really showing me value? Right. And adoption and outcomes and value are very different. If you accept a suggestion from Copilot, that's adoption. What is it? We are not saying how many acceptances. What you wanted is like, am I shipping more features? Am I shipping faster? Am I shipping better? That's what we want as leaders when you invest in the tools. And that data is available on Hivel today. And that is something that's become a big hit on Hivel, where you can show the adoption and outcomes of your AI investments.
Yeah,
Right.
that
The story for the need for the data has always been there. What data comes in is something that could change with AI, but the visibility and objective nature is something very critical for any organization to work in this distributed edge.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's a continuum of disruption starting from kind of the pandemic time, which led to completely changing the way how work is done, how orgs are structured, and now you have with AI now just a different level of intelligence and capability. So it just seems like Hivel is just like very rightly placed in the ecosystem.